My concept is Gothic Whispers, exploring how Gothic aesthetics continue to influence modern life. Gothic subculture can be seen all over the modern world, inspiring architecture, decor, music, and fashion. While traditional goth seems unusual and strange to most, other, more modern subgenres of goth have become prevalent and trendy, a whisper of dark elegance within modern style. My chosen trend is Victorian clothing, specifically Victorian mourning wear. This is influenced by the recent rise in trends that are looking back at history, while this also ties in well with my concept. The mood of this project is rooted in nostalgia, melancholy beauty, and elegance. My colour palette draws from traditional Gothic and mourning colours, mostly blacks and greys with a small amount of golds and greens. This combination reflects the sombre tone of goth and Victorian mourning, but also evokes a romantic, almost poetic atmosphere that defines modern Gothic fashion, while keeping the mood light and elegant. During my research into Next, I found that their target demographic is 25 to 45 years old, though their fastest growing groups of customers include under 20s and over 60s. Research into their market performance shows that Next's online sales have grown and in-store sales have declined. When comparing Next to brands like ASOS, H&M, and Zara, I noticed many similarities in customer profiles, mainly middle-class consumers, a defined older demographic, and a growing younger audience. While ASOS thrives on affordability and fast fashion, H&M and Zara focus on trend-led mid-price styles. Next's unique strength lies in quality, sustainability, and ethics, all things becoming more popular and valued, especially for younger audiences. These values that Next have could make a Gothic-inspired range feel more luxurious and timeless rather than purely trendy, while still appealing to a younger audience. Through my project, I've explored zero-waste pattern cutting, which eliminates fabric waste by designing garments that use every single piece of material. This approach is becoming more popular as the fashion industry seeks to reduce its environmental footprint. I also looked at fabric recycling, addressing how the textile industry ranks among the top contributors to pollution. By integrating these practices, my designs aim to balance aesthetic expression with environmental responsibility. In the Carrington & Sanderson Zero Waste Draping Workshop, I produced multiple different designs using the same technique and the same piece of fabric. I learnt a lot from this workshop and really developed my understanding of the zero waste technique. This was the final design I did in that workshop, and you can see the influence of this design and the others throughout the rest of my project. The Zero Waste Pattern Cutting Workshop showed me completely new ways of thinking while designing clothes. Through sketching, I developed silhouettes that merged Gothic structure and Victorian forms, with flowing, elegant movement. The aim was to reflect Goth's historical style and influence, while introducing modern elegance and comfort. My final lineup consists of 6 designs that each reinterpret elements of Gothic and Victorian styles, such as corsetry, lace, and layered fabrics, into a contemporary, ready-to-wear piece. My first design draws heavily on lace fabrics and big, flowing shapes. My second design uses a basque waist on the shirt, taking inspiration from Gothic architecture with sharp shapes as well as large flowing sleeves and a lovely flowing trouser. The gather in the top of the trouser produces a drape, adding a modern elegance to the design. My third design, which is the one I went on to make in my final garment, draws heavily on Victorian mourning wear as well as influences from Gothic subculture, such as large sleeves that create almost a batwing feel. My fourth design involves corsetry and a modern take on how one can wear a corset. The combination with the shorts creates a more comfortable, casual look while keeping the elegance of a corset. My fifth design focuses much more on modern style with a subtle Gothic influence. The pure gold colour adds a more elegant, light mood within the lineup. My sixth design focuses mostly on the shapes and styles seen within Goth culture through architecture, fashion, and much more. The sharp angle and symmetrical design are balanced by the flowiness of the jacket. The pattern I use for my final garment on its own is not completely zero waste. However, in production, each 3 patterns cut are zero waste put together. Through my twirling process, I explored how to finish the neck and the cold shoulder in my design. I chose to face both the neck and the sleeve. My initial approach left unfinished edges and small holes either side of the seam. I restarted and tucked the back panel inside the seam of the front panel. This allowed the facing to fully cover any raw edges of the seam and avoid any holes in the top line. My final twirl reflected my initial design well. Some of the technical elements needed refining to produce a neater, more professional looking garment. The length of the dress was slightly too short. I extended the length of the body in the pattern to accommodate this. By having practiced most of the finishes for my garment on my twirl, I was able to produce a much neater, tidier finish to all of the edges on my final garment. I top stitched the binding to the seam of the neck and arms. On my twirl, this line of top stitching was not very straight. However, I made sure to take my time and measure the length between the edge of the fabric and where I wanted the top stitching to sit. Binding the sleeve of my dress, I also top stitched with the same distance as across the top of the dress. By facing the sleeves, I created a much tidier, neater looking edge, as well as rounding the point so you cannot see the seam on the inside at the bottom of the sleeve. The final garment embodies a sense of controlled drama, graceful yet powerful, romantic yet modern. On the wearer, the dress hangs and flows beautifully. Seeing the garments in motion was especially important for this project. Gothic fashion often carries weight, emotional weight, and I wanted that to come through in the movement. The way the fabrics drape, the way the light catches the black textures, and the mood that emerges as the wearer walks. It's a celebration of craftsmanship, sustainability, and enduring beauty of dark aesthetics. Overall, my project bridges past and present, honouring historical influences while embracing modern sustainability and digital fashion trends. It reflects on how darkness and elegance can coexist in design, offering a new perspective for brands like Next and fashion consumers seeking authenticity and artistry.